we have an Object 140 game on Redshire. The first thing I'm going to do is what I normally do in a medium from South Spawn, which is head to K2. From there, I try and spot the one line, and also get shots at the hill if the people in mid spot that. T71 tries to cut hardest off and gets sandwiched. Now look where this T71's going. Why is he coming over here? K2 is really no position for a light tank. But oh look, he's not even going to K2, he's going to hide in the back. The light tank's going to sit at K6, K7 and snipe. There is nothing worse than a bad light tank driver. I absolutely despise them. So Hardest pushes through to middle. He doesn't go to the hill where people normally go, he just decides he's going to derp up the river and see what he can find. He does have some cover there because the 113 is quite low to the ground. Managed to spot the 103 and make a really quick snapshot into him. I am lit though, and the enemy do have 3 arty. So a couple hits going on that 103. Some nice spotting damage. A Centurion sort of dicking around. One of them behind Hardest, one of them behind me. The one behind me is, I'm not sure if he just is still grinding through it or if he's following Quickie Baker's advice of using a 20 pounder. Don't use a 20 pounder on the Centurion, like seriously don't. It's just an objectively inferior gun to the L7A1. Alpha is what makes a difference at tier 9. If you have a medium tank that can get a tier 10 gun, get it. There's no reason not to. So he's going to push up next to me, which is really not something I want because he's a lot more likely to get spotted than me, and if he gets spotted, I will get shot at. I roll out to try and get a shot on the 62A. I fuck it up and miss completely, or actually bounce. And the enemy partner rolls out, spots me, and then the M103 behind him hits me. They did just lose a 62A though. Not an ideal trade, but not a terrible one yet. Hardest is still okay down the riverbed there. I'm not even sure if he's been spotted, honestly. Surely he must have been. So I'm trying to get shots into the 103. I'm having a lot of luck hitting the weak spots around his gun mantlet, even from this distance, while moving. It's quite refreshing. Normally 103s give me a bit of a headache if I can't see that hole. So 2 of the enemy tier 10s and 1 of the tier 9s has been spotted north. We haven't spotted their T57 yet, but I can tell you where he is. He's on the hill. Not only because he gets spotted there later, but you know, it's just, you know, a T57 is going to go to the hill. Patton's lit. I'm lit. Take a big hit and then roll out again because I'm not smart. Hardy hits me. So not a good trade to hit points at all there. Should also note our T71 just said I won't ever do that again after fucking up a scouting run. So that's just reinforcing his bad play style of hide your light tank in the back of your team. Bad players shouldn't play light tanks. The only people who should be playing light tanks are actual competent players, honestly. I actually, the other day in my FV304, I had a 5916 refuse to scout the easter steps for me because he told me I should have been on the west side where he was. He wasn't even spotting, it was our heavies doing all the spotting on the west. But bad scout players think they know everything and refuse to spot for their teammates. If you're going to go down a light tank line, you better be prepared to actually spot things. If you don't want to spot things, then don't get a light tank. Simple. So while I sit here ranting, there's not a lot going on. Our Centurion decides to push up, which is a mistake. I would certainly not be pushing up the river this early in my scent. I'm letting him do it without pushing up behind him because I know he's going to draw a lot of fire from the hill the second he gets spotted, and I don't want to be anywhere near that. It is baiting him, but he's not really at the level where I'm worried about losing him. I get another hit into the M1 tree's weak spot. Make a blind shot, but just miss him. Now I start moving up. Centurion takes an enormous hit. I think that was an arty shell. Well, in fact, it had to have been an arty shell. There's nothing else that could have done that much damage. If you get hit by arty in a Centurion, you're probably doing it wrong. He was, see, he's trying to hold down. You can't hold down a Centurion. You play vertical pick and poke. It's technically holding down, but it's not in the sense of the T29 where you just pick a spot and stay there. You can't get away with it. You need to pop up, shoot, pop up somewhere else, shoot again, never in the same place twice, and never sit on top of a hill. The Centurion's got enough agility and acceleration to actually really effectively clown arty and make it shoot where you were 10 seconds ago, so he should have been doing that. This much on the pattern, but T57's lit. He does start backing off, but I get a quick track shot onto him. Drops him there, and he's out of my shot. Hardest begins pushing into them. I still have a Tiger 2 and a JT in front of me somewhere. I push the Tiger 2 and just rock back so he won't get an easy shot on me. Hardest puts a shell into him and he's dead. I finally get spotted and so I duck into cover for a moment. Hardest still has a T57 heavy and a pattern in front of him, so he doesn't want to push into them just yet. Poker's moving up to get shots on the hill and support a Hardest. Our other Centurion is making the same mistake, sitting in the position hold down without moving. We've still got our T28 and our Rhine Metal in our side of the river. In the town. So I'm just waiting now for something to open my window of opportunity to sprint down the one line. Hardest spots the pattern. Pattern erased. And now the T57 is back into cover. JT's got a hit into him and he's probably looking up towards the hill now, so I push him. Seems to be turned to face me, but that's okay. Because my gun doesn't give a shit about his front arm. Poker finishes him. Hardest still does have that 57 in front, so I scoot down the one line. Try and re-spot it and engage it from the side. If I can get it to turn its turret towards me, Hardest can then just roll over the hill and pop it in the face. It's low enough on health that one shot from me and one shot from Hardest, or sorry, two shots from me and one from Hardest should finish it. So I get in my two shots. In fact, I get in all three and kill it. It does set me on fire, but I carry an automatic extinguisher because I'm not an idiot. and my tank is saved. Unfortunately, my credits aren't. So I find one of their arty. I'm getting a little stuttery there. I'm worried I'm screwed here, but Polka rescues me again. And then it's just the 53, 55 left, which Hardest manages to get. Fairly relaxed game. We weren't really ever in any mortal danger of losing, and once we were able to spot those tanks on the hill, their team quickly began to dissipate. The Object 140 makes a really good tank for K2 because it has 1 degree of extra gun depression over the other Soviet mediums. Not only that though, it's so low to the ground and its frontal armor is actually halfway decent. It's also very good for when you need to push up the one line because it's just so small and so hard to see. So there are other places you can take medium tanks on this map, particularly the bottom of the hill at G4, G5, then push up the hill, tending to spot a lot of their tanks at Hell Camp up there. When I'm in my Centurion sniping from the hill, I think it's a complete pain in the ass when the enemy mediums get on our side of the map. The other thing about that position as well is you can actually prevent enemy mediums coming into K2 because you can shoot them in the back as they cross the river. There's not really any point, I think, to sending mediums north. It can be done, and often pubbies will do it with theirs, but I never take my mediums north. I'd just much rather be in the south where I've got better cover from the hill. If you're in the north, they've got that much distance between the hill and you that any kind of dead ground you'd think you'd be able to use is just negated. It's a lot more open to arty as well.